So the number one most important thing in investing in real estate, in my opinion, is good management. Either managing it yourself or hiring a good manager. I always would lean on the side of managing it yourself as long as you can afford to do so. So, like, when I say afford to do so, I mean, like, when it comes to how much time you have or your availability or your experience. Um, I think that learning management and how to manage tenants or people, almost like a salesman for selling products or services or any kind of communication with individuals, is a critical part when you start learning real estate. I think that it will not be the only determining factor and the only way you can do well. I think that if you are a good manager and you do owner manage, if you're successful, you will have a faster growth rate, like, hands down. I think that some people will never or can't do that, can't manage their own real estate initially, or they think they can't. Depends on how much it requires. I would find an asset that allows you to manage the property within the time frame and the experience you have. So let's say that you're a full-time 9 to 5 worker and you only have before 9 o'clock, after 5 o'clock, and Saturday and Sunday to do anything for your real estate portfolio. I would say that you should buy something that only requires maybe 10 hours of management on any given week time period, so that you can actually perform the needed tasks in the time that you have. So what would that look like? I think that in the beginning, management is higher than after something's stabilized or after you're used to it. So it can vary. It can be like no work in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you lose tenants and you have way more work. So you want to make sure that in all scenarios, you'll be able to manage that property within the time you have available. So I would say you buy something that's maybe almost fully occupied or fully occupied, if that's how much time you have, has maybe 10 to 30% vacant, so that you can add some value. But even if you don't have time, you'll still break even with the current scenario. I think that that's probably a prudent course of action. And then if you have all the time in the world, go for it and buy something that has more management requirements. So maybe 50 to 50% or less vacancy, 10 to 50%, let's say. Maybe find something that has a few small spaces that need to be filled, not like everything that's huge and you might not find tenants. Or find something that has multiple tenancy but also has a bunch of large tenants, and not, or a bunch of like 10 tenants instead of 30 or something, so you don't have as much turnover. Buy something with longer leases. I think that management, in conclusion, is one of the most critical aspects of owning real estate, and being a good manager will make or break your career in real estate investing. Unless you just want hands-off long-term residential rentals, there's nothing wrong with that, and there's definitely potential to be had there, and that will require way less management. So, I would say think about it. Think about how much time you have. Comment below how much time you actually have to manage a week, and then I'll probably do a video on different types of situations and what I would expect to spend managing those different properties. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow.